Look, you put in your 40 hours, you faithfully save a chunk of your paycheck, and you drop it into a traditional savings account, right? Because, well, mainstream financial gurus have always told us that's the responsible thing to do. But what if the exact system, designed to keep your money safe, is the very mechanism keeping you from building true generational wealth? Welcome back to Zak Invest. I'm Zak, and in today's Explainer, we are exposing the absolute greatest illusion in personal finance. We're going to completely break down the hidden yield strategy, the exact blueprint that the ultra-wealthy use to generate massive cash flow without taking on the wild roller coaster risks of the stock market.
So I really want you to stop and ask yourself right now, is your savings account just a slow leak? See, most hardworking people believe that earning 4 or maybe 5% in a high-yield savings account is a huge victory, but they're completely ignoring the silent wealth destroyers working against them in the background. I'm talking about inflation and taxes. When you just leave your money sitting idle in the bank, yeah, it might feel perfectly secure, but the purchasing power of those dollars is steadily draining away. You are literally paying the bank for the privilege of letting your wealth shrink. Crazy, right?
All right, we've got to confront a pretty harsh mathematical reality here about why that traditional 5% bank interest rate is actually a guaranteed mathematical loss. Think about it. When government data shows that the costs of groceries, housing, and energy are rising rapidly, your 5% yield, it's already eaten up. Factor in the taxes you owe on that interest, and your true real-world return is basically zero. Actually, scratch that. It's almost always completely negative.
And that introduces us to, honestly, the most absolutely crucial concept in wealth preservation, the real rate of return. This is the true yield of an investment after you account for those silent thieves, inflation and taxes. If your real rate of return is negative, your purchasing power is shrinking every single year. The wealthy understand this psychology deeply, you guys. They know for a fact that holding idle cash in a checking account is just a guaranteed loss.
So institutional investors completely shift this paradigm because they live by one simple truth. Cash isn't king, cash flow is king. They deploy their idle capital into a totally different set of hidden yield vehicles. We're talking about the exact instruments used by giant endowments, family offices, and sovereign wealth funds to completely outpace inflation. And here is the absolute best part of all of this. The barriers to accessing these institutional grade strategies, they've collapsed. You no longer need to be a billionaire to use them.
So this is the foundational bedrock of the global financial system. It's the ultimate risk-free yield, backed directly by the United States government. When you buy a treasury bill, you are basically lending money to the US government. Now, everyday investors might buy one and just sit around and wait. But the wealthy, they build a ladder. Think of it like a giant conveyor belt of cash. You buy short-term debt that matures sequentially. Week 1 matures, boom, you get your principal and interest, and you immediately reinvest it right back at the start of the belt. Week 2 matures, and you do it all over again. This creates a perpetual rolling stream of cash flow that just constantly hits your account.
Plus, there is a massive legal tax loophole here that you have to take advantage of. Treasury bill interest is completely exempt from state and local income taxes. So if you live in a high-tax state like California or New York, you're effectively boosting your yield by several percentage points simply by holding this specific asset. The wealthy use this exact trick to park millions in total safety, completely shielded from state taxes, all while growing their money faster than inflation.
Now, this is where the wealthy park their primary, day-to-day cash while maintaining total safety and high liquidity. But we really need to debunk a major myth right now. A retail money market account at your standard local bank is entirely different from a true institutional money market fund. An institutional fund actually pulls capital from thousands of investors to buy ultra-safe, massive debt issued by blue-chip corporations and major financial institutions. So the crucial takeaway here is how these funds operate to your advantage. By lending to highly rated, wildly profitable companies for less than a year, these funds offer a premium over standard government rates. You're generating daily compounded interest while remaining completely liquid. So when the wealthy are just waiting to deploy capital into some massive real estate deal, their money is sitting right here working for them. It transitions you from being just a passive saver into a highly active, intelligent capital allocator.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this is my absolute favorite. It's the secret weapon of the modern wealth builder. Because while treasuries and money markets provide this ultra-safe bedrock, private credit literally blasts your returns into the 8 to 12% range. You do this by stepping directly into the role of the bank. You pull your capital to fund short-term loans for real estate developers. Because instead of waiting 90 days for a traditional bank to approve them, they come to the private credit market for speed and certainty. You become the bank and you collect that massive double-digit interest spread that used to be reserved entirely for Wall Street insiders.
But look, we all know higher yield means higher risk, right? So to protect yourself, you must follow strict rules of engagement to keep your principal totally secure. You only participate in highly vetted opportunities. You stick to short-term duration loans. And most importantly, this is absolutely non-negotiable. The loan must be asset-backed by physical real estate, physical dirt and concrete with an incredibly low loan-to-value ratio. That means you are lending money at a massive discount to the property's actual value, which ensures incredible safety while you're pulling in that massive cash flow.
Because as any wealthy investor will tell you, generating a high yield is only half the battle. Keeping it away from the tax man, that's the other half. We have to optimize our compounding. For example, if you buy municipal bonds, which fund local schools and roads, that interest is often completely federal and state tax-free. Federal treasuries, as we covered a minute ago, are state tax-free. But for those massive double-digit yields from corporate debt and private credits, you're going to want to hold those inside a tax-advantaged retirement account. By doing this, your money compounds year after year, completely unhindered by the government trying to take a cut of your dividends. You are literally using the legal tax code to supercharge your wealth creation.
Listen, this explainer isn't about getting rich quick or taking wild speculative guesses in the stock market. It's about the pure mathematical reality of money. And if you want to start executing this strategy today, I've actually compiled my own personal, curated list of the exact platforms I use to access institutional funds, build treasury ladders, and vet private credit. That completely free guide is linked directly in the description below. Go grab it. This is your actionable step to start building your own institutional-grade yield shield right away.
So I want to leave you with a challenge. What are you going to do with your idle cash tomorrow? Are you going to let inflation and taxes just silently destroy your hard-earned money in a traditional bank account? Or will you stop the leak, step into this new reality, and deploy your capital like a true institution? The path to financial freedom really starts with that one decision. Thank you so much for learning with me in today's explainer. Be sure to subscribe to Zak Invest, hit that notification bell, and I will see you in the next one as we continue building your unshakable wealth.